Hello, this is me Rekha Sen on Swasveksha. Today we are going over the cerebrospinal fluid. On today's topic, we will discuss about the CSF cavities and their foramina. After that, how CSF will produce, which are the electrolyte present over there, then how it circulate and its absorption. Then what is the role of the CSF in the CNS? After that, most important point, which is the characteristic like production rate, pressure of the CSF, composition of the CSF, which are the things be present in the CSF or not. So we will discuss one by one. CSF cavities. Each cerebral hemisphere has a cavity called lateral ventricles. Both lateral ventricles are called septum pellucidum. Both lateral ventricles communicate with the third ventricle, which is the intraventricular foramina, which is also known as the foramen of Monro. Where is situated? It is situated between the lateral ventricles and the third ventricle as it look here. Then what is this? This is the third ventricle, which is forms between the two thalami. As you can see, these are the two thalami. Then third ventricles communicate with the fourth ventricles by cerebral aqueduct, or we can also say the aqueduct of the Sylvius, which is developed by mesencephalon. Then fourth ventricles forms on between pons and medulla oblongata, which is diamond shape. At the roof of the fourth ventricle, there are three apertures. We can say the foramina also. The first is two foramen Leschka, which is communicate with the cerebropontine cistern, which help move CSF between fourth ventricle to cerebrum and subarachnoid space. Then second one is the one foramen of Magendie communicate with the cerebellomedullary cistern at posteriorly. Then fourth ventricles continue as a longitudinal canal called central canal of the spinal cord. So now for understanding better, see in this figure it is a right lateral view of the CNS. What is this? This is the third ventricle. Above it is lateral ventricles. Then below the third ventricles, what is here? This is the cerebral aqueduct. And what is this diamond shaped things? It is the fourth ventricle. Then this longitudinal canal is central canal of the spinal cord. So what about the foramens now? Two foramens Monro were situated in lateral ventricles and third ventricles. And if you are imagining that you are standing in the fourth ventricle, and on your anterior side, what was these two structure? Pons and medulla. And on your back, what was here? This is the cerebellum. And put your hands into the foramen Leschka, and one leg move posterior into the Magendie, and other leg keep on over the central canal. But on your head, what was here? It is the cerebral aqueduct of the midbrain. So practice it wherever you are. Now that easy to remember the position of the foramen with their ventricles. So now click on the like button and subscribe my channel if you had not yet. So for this type of more interesting things. So how the CSF will produce? CSF produced by choroid plexus. But what is the choroid plexus? Choroid plexus, which is the network of capillaries, has a specially fenestrated ependymal cell. When you lose the talacordia, reaches to the deepest area, it is covered by ependymal cell. This whole specialized secretory unit called as choroid plexus. But what is the telacodia now? The telacodia, it is the thin, highly vascularized, loose connective tissue portion of the pyometer. It is a lamina propria from the ependyma. Ependymal cell covering the choroid plexus. This cell having a very specialized pump, which is active sodium transporter for sodium. So it actively secretes sodium from cell to CSF ventricular area. Sodium is positively charged, which attract the chloride, which negatively charged. So sodium actively and chloride passively followed. In this area, osmotic pressure is increased. So pull water into it. Now CSF is formed. Also have a glucose transporter, but now very efficient. So due to this reason, glucose in CSF is less than glucose in the blood. Means 2/3 of the blood glucose present in the CSF. If 100% glucose in the blood, so how much in the CSF? It will be a 66%. Few substance, potassium transport CSF to the blood. Potassium in the CSF is more than in the blood. Blood CSF barrier only permit certain substance. No cells, only less than 5% WBC. When compared to the blood plasma, CSF have a higher concentration of sodium, chloride and magnesium, but a lower concentration of the potassium and calcium. Unlike plasma, CSF have only trace amount of cell, protein and immunoglobulins. Choroid plexus will located in lateral ventricles, on roof of the third ventricles and also the roof of the fourth ventricles. As you know, the CSF will produced by the choroid plexus, and choroid plexus will be located in the lateral ventricles, third ventricle and also in the fourth ventricle. Then choroid plexus in the lateral ventricles produce CSF into that. Then to the foramen Monro, CSF will transfer from lateral ventricles to the third ventricles. Then more CSF is produced from choroid plexus on the roof of the third ventricles. Then through the cerebral aqueduct, CSF will enter into the fourth ventricles. Again production of CSF from choroid plexus on roof of the fourth ventricles. From the fourth ventricles, it has two apertures, which is foramen Lashka and one Magendie. It will be goes into the cistern, and through the cistern CSF will be goes into the subarachnoid space. Then it will be circulate and absorbed by subarachnoid villi. Then through the venous blood it will goes into the heart and lungs. Then through the arterial blood it will be coming back to the choroid plexus of the different ventricles. As you can see, this is the figure. Here this is the pyometer, here this is the arachnoid, and this is the meningeal and periosteal layer of the dura mater. It having a dural venous sinus. With that you can see this is the subarachnoid villi with their granulation. So what is the arachnoid granulation? Arachnoid granulation, which arachnoid villi group together make a projection called arachnoid granulation. So here through the arachnoid granulation, absorption will be occur from the subarachnoid space to the venous blood. Function of the cerebrospinal fluid. The first one is the cushion and protection the brain from the skull injuries. As I told that cope and counter cope injuries will be occur if it is object will be hit on the site. The injury will be developed on opposite to that. It will called counter coup injury, and if it is on the site, injury will be occurred, it called coup injury. I already told that these things on the brain injuries lecture. So if you want to go and check out, link is given below the description. Then the second one is the supporting and buoyancy. Specific gravity of the CSF and specific gravity of the CNS are same, so brain is floating in the CSF. In dry air, weight of the brain is 1300 gram, but in the CSS, weight of the brain will be only 50 gram because of floating in the CSF. So it will support the delicate structure around the brain. Then another, which is the reservoir and control intracranial content. As example, when brain little bit shrunken, CSF will be increased, and brain swollen, CSF will be decreased. But very big swelling, so then ICP will be increased. Then other functions are nourishes CNS, metabolic waste removal, and carries hormonal product in CNS. As we know that hypothalamus and pineal gland and pituitary gland is situated in the brain. Now we will discuss about the most important part of the cerebrospinal fluid, which is the characteristics of the CSF. The first characteristic is volume. Now you know that CSF will be produced by choroid plexus. The production rate, it is 0.5 ml per minute, and if we are going in the hours, it is 30 ml per hour and 500 to 720 ml per day or in 24 hours. And what is the amount of CSF? The amount will be 130 ml in range, so it is the 125 to 150 ml. And how many times it renew? It renews in 4 to 5 times in a day. And what is the absorption will be occurred? Absorption will be occurred in subarachnoid villi. It is 350 ml per day in the blood. Then what is the pressure of the CSF? The pressure of the CSF is 10 to 15 centimeter H2O in lying or supine position, or 30 centimeter H2O in upright or straight position. And if you want to know that how to convert from mm of Hg to the centimeter or H2O and mm of Hg to the millimeter to the H2O. So the 1 mm of Hg is equal to 1.359 centimeter per H2O, and 1 mm of Hg is equal to 13.6 mm of per H2O. So how to measure the pressure of the CSF? Push lumbar puncture needle attached with the manometer, so we can measure the pressure. Then position for the lumbar puncture is, during the procedure, give the knee chest or C shape or fetal position. Then after the procedure, we have to give the supine position to the patient to improve the CSF flow. Then is the site of the lumbar puncture. The site of the lumbar puncture is L3 to the L4 or L4 to L5, which is the most preferable and first priority site, which is the L4 to L5, because it is safe. How much can be withdrawn safely? Anyone have a question? So the safe withdrawal will be 5 to 10 ml. But if it is increased ICP, so you can't do the lumbar puncture. Lumbar puncture is contraindicated in increased ICP due to risk of brain stem herniation. So what is the normal ICP now? The normal ICP, it is the 5 to 15 mm of Hg. Okay, then what is the composition? Composition, which is the first one, it is the color. What is the color of CSF? The color of CSF is crystal clear and watery color. But if it is turby and cloudy, so what you will diagnose? If it is turby and cloudy, you have to diagnose that maybe presence of bacterial infection. And if it is red or pink color, so it will be due to the hemorrhagic condition. Then what is the order of CSF? The order will be orderless normally. And which are the cells has been present in the CSF? WBC. The WBC, the first is lymphocyte. Lymphocyte will be a less than 5% will be present in the CSF. But if it is increased, it will give the diagnosis due to the bacterial infection. And neutrophils are not present in the CSF. And no RBC will be present in the CSF. Remember these things. Okay, but if it is present, may develop subarachnoid hemorrhage in CSF collection, seen yellowish appearance of CSF called xanthochromia. Okay, that occur severe hours after bleeding into the subarachnoid space. Then glucose. What is the concentration of glucose in the CSF? It will be a 40 to 60 mg per dl, or we can say 2/3 level of the plasma. But if it is increased, we have to suspect the viral infection. And if it is decreased, so we have to suspect the bacterial infection. Don't confuse that. If it is increased, the glucose concentration in the CSF, it will be a viral infection. But if it decrease, so we have to suspect the bacterial infection. Then what is the concentration in the CSF? Protein will be 30 to 50 mg per dl, or in the gram 0.4 gram per liter. What is the plasma protein then? The plasma protein will be 7 to 8 gram per liter. So remember it, don't confuse. Okay, protein increase in such condition like inflammatory brain disease, degenerative brain disease, and autoimmune brain disease. Okay, in CSF, cobweb appearance is absent, but if it is present, then suspect the tuber meningitis. And IgG or oligodonal bands, it absent, and if it is present, then diagnose the multiple sclerosis. Then what is the specific gravity of the CSF? It will be a 1.005, and pH will be is equal to. So now the last part of the lecture, which is a summary. So today we had discussed about the cerebrospinal fluid, in which are the cavities has been present, and ventricles with their foramenas, and how the CSF will be produced. CSF will be produced by choroid plexus, which is located in the lateral ventricles, third ventricles, and the fourth ventricles. And the flow of the CSF, which is the circulation, it will be done by the different ventricles, and it will be goes after that subarachnoid villi. Then it will through the venous blood goes to the heart and lungs. Then arterial blood, it will be also coming back to the choroid plexus for the new circulation. So then after the functions, which are the function will be provided by the CSF to the brain and spinal cord. The most one is the protection, buoyancy. Okay, then after that we had discussed about the characteristic of the CSF. So what is the total amount of the CSF? It is the 130 ml, and in the range 125 to 150 ml. And the pressure in upright position and lying down position and composition are the color, odor, cells, and so many things we had discussed. So don't confuse in the composition, pressure, and the volume, which we had discussed very detailed. So Here we have completed the cerebrospinal fluid lecture. So this video over the cerebrospinal fluid. For watching, don't forget to subscribe our channel for more videos and press the bell icon. Share to your friends, it must be helpful in this quarantine time. And the most important thing, don't forget to mention how you like this video. Okay, so we will see you soon in next lecture video.